Welcome back to another episode of I Can Do This All Day. I'm a mother lover, you're a mother lover, and happy Mother's Day to all those out there. This is Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Hello there. Today we're here to talk about moms. We can all gush about how great our moms are and tell good stories and talk about all of the positive mother figures in movies and television. But the beautiful thing about movies and television is there's a good and there's a bad. And today, to try and make all of you semi-bad mothers feel better about yourselves, we are covering our Mount Rushmore of worst moms in TV and movies.
Worst moms. What better way to celebrate Mother's Day than talk about the worst ones? Why don't we just kick this list right off? Because that way you can get back to your mimosas and your brunch and probably, giving your mom her pedicure or whatever certificate to a nail salon.
That's
But
the game, bro. That's the game.
we're diving right on in from these two dads to the very first mother on our Rushmore. Ugh.
Who is it? Uh, it could be worse. Your mom could be Norman Bates's mom, the mom from Psycho.
Yeah, when I saw this movie, I remember it specifically in high school. It was for my 18th birthday. I had one of my very few birthday parties and invited a bunch of friends over, and we watched this because we thought it would be scary.
It
And
is.
boy, we were very surprised as to what this movie actually was because we had heard about it. None of us had seen it before, and the mom was dead all along. Who knew?
The mom did enough damage. Norma Bates made Norman Bates an absolutely terrible, murdery person who also wore her clothes and sat in her rocking chair.
If emotional damage was a meme back then, yeah, she would definitely be involved in it for sure.
That's great.
For sure. Are you a
Excellent
fan of the
reference.
Psycho movies?
I enjoy the original Psycho. The Psycho with Vince Vaughn is a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Um,
You didn't like
uh,
him fapping in the shower or
yeah,
while she was in the
no,
shower? No.
no. Why they let
I
Vince Vaughn do that, one will never know.
I thought that was right up your alley. Like I thought that would have been like, oh, Vince Vaughn, what a crazy guy, going full method
He's
for this
just
role,
fully crazy guy.
just beating
Oh
his
no,
meat like
he
like it
he
owes his
doubles
money.
down on 11 there. No, it was not. I why was the question, and money was probably the answer.
I thought it was an interesting take on it, and it kind of made more sense because if I'm sure if the MPAA wasn't such a stickler back then, I don't even know if they existed back then, to be quite honest. But yeah, Norman, sorry, you can't fap while while you're washing the other person in the hotel room. So I thought they got one thing right in the remake of it, but yeah, it's been a while since I watched the Vincent Vaughn one, but this original classic was, I mean, it's iconic. Let's be real. Even though you might not necessarily be scared by it, if you don't know the premise and you kind of put the blinders on and don't Google anything before you watch it, I think there's definitely a degree of being unsettled there for sure. And the
Mhm.
the trauma that the mother is instilled in him uh, is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, this is right up there. Could be the worst mom ever, but it's Mount Rushmore. Nobody cares who the best is. It's just who deserves on the rock.
And continuing on with the worst of our Mount Rushmore, the next pick is pretty easy. I mean, if you had watched Game of Thrones, Cersei Lannister is just the worst out of all of them. Such an evil. See you next Tuesday. And you know what makes her even more of a bad mother? The fact that she's a brother fucker. That's
Yeah,
another weird one. We the
yeah,
brother fucker.
yeah. You want to know where the only place the showrunners and George R. R. Martin would not go in the world of Westeros is to the inbred birth defect. None out of four. I don't believe that for a second.
It's interesting to kind of see the stuff that that woman has done throughout the entirety of Game of Thrones. It's ridiculous. Just raising a prick of a son and who eventually becomes king. And ultimately, she's so in love with herself and her brother. He's dead. All right, I'm going to become king. Like that's where she thinks of, that's how self-involved unreal. Unreal. And well, you know what? While we're at it, let me see if I can fuck my brother one last time.
In the end, it all came raining down on her. Literally.
And what better way to go on to the next pick of our Mount Rushmore? Because since that rock has tumbled down and she's immortalized on the I Can Do This All Day podcast, Bad Moms Rushmore, we got to pick up our next pick, which is going to be. Uh, uh, some might disagree with this pick, by the way. I don't because she is a bad mom, and she's definitely iconic.
Oh, iconic as both an actress and a character, Kate McAllister, the only mom to abandon her kid twice and avoid charges. Like, how did Catherine O'Hara get away with it?
Yeah, Johnny Cochran is a lawyer. That's what it
As must
was.
have, man. Her and the Wet Bandits shared the same legal team. They lived in that really rich neighborhood, so they had a really expensive lawyer to keep them out of trouble, essentially there, right? But Home Alone, such an iconic movie, and for all you moms out there that feel like, man, I'm not doing a good job, or you kids that are like, my mom sucks. At least she didn't leave you home while going on a European vacation twice.
I will say, just to defend her and play devil's advocate, because hey, the hypocrisy is strong with this one. Was it really her fault that in the first movie?
I
Because
feel like it all.
I don't believe it was her fault in the second movie. I don't think the second movie was her fault at all.
Mm, agree to disagree there, but I also think that you can, there's definitely justifications for Catherine O'Hara on this Mount Rushmore, mostly for Home Alone, but you could also she was the mom in Beetlejuice. She was
Probably a worse
Delia,
mom there.
definitely a bad mom there, and then she was also the mom on why can't I think of the show? That was all over the place. She's the mom for
Staggering. Fantastic
Schitt's
pick. That's
Creek. She's
oh
the
okay.
mom on Schitt's Creek, who was
I never
just
watched that. I still haven't watched that.
yeah, it's pretty funny. She's great as Mara Rose. Very quotable. Fold in the cheese. You'll get it when you watch it. But as much as I love Catherine O'Hara, she has pulled some bad mom roles. So just the versatility of her ability to be a different kind of detached and trauma bringing mother in multiple roles earns her that stone engravement.
Macaulay Culkin, he did like a skit where he had all this trauma from being left alone, and that was pretty funny. I think overall, Kate McAllister is not the most evil of moms, but still a bad mom. You fuck up one time, and regardless if it was her fault or not, you are sure as shit making sure the next Christmas Kevin is right next to you. And not once did she do that. She also was just cranking out kids just way too fast. You gotta slow down, hon. Slow down.
Well,
This
she
is
only had
not a
two,
not a
right?
good look. No, I thought there was like a bunch of them. Or were those cousins?
They were cousins.
Were they?
It
Okay.
was just Buzz and Kevin.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. I did like those movies. I was just thinking like all those cousins were also siblings
Yeah,
as well. But
yeah,
fair
no,
enough.
yeah.
Why the fuck then did they have such a big house for just two kids?
Dad was actually a mafioso.
Yeah.
Dad did some shit. Uncle Frank was like Fredo. They couldn't kill him,
Yeah.
but they needed to treat him like shit.
God, Uncle
Oh
Frank,
man,
that piece of shit right there. But
that's her
well.
brother. That's not the dad's brother.
Yeah.
Runs in the
Unreal. It runs, yeah, exactly. It's in the genes. It's in the
I love it.
genes. But all right. So I think we should just go ahead and go on to our last pick of the Rushmore. Holy shit, it's Mama Fratelli from the Goonies. What a bad bitch.
Oh, There are many 80s movie villains that are scary and intimidating and evil, from your Hans Gruber all the way to your Hitler for all the Indiana Jones movies. Um, but man, but man, Mama Fratelli, talk about the most whipped adults ever.
I don't know if there is another mom as iconic as her from the 80s. I just don't know. I mean,
Ooh.
besides, I'm saying that from a movie perspective. I'm not talking about the moms on sitcom television. I mean, her name was Mama Fratelli. Other people just don't refer to them as mom or mama. It's like this is her. So I think overall she's well deserved on this list, both from the aesthetic of just looking like a handsome young man, and also just the overall evilness and just yeah, her boys are just so hell bent on pleasing her and making sure she's okay. Not only did she raise them in a life of crime, but she locked one of them away in a freaking vault, essentially. That's pretty bad. I think that's pretty
Mhm.
bad for a mom to do. So that alone would get her on my Rushmore.
I concur. And for your moms of the 80s, I think you're pretty good there, man. I think you're pretty solid. Not many iconic mamas. There's some 90s ones, but not in the 80s, my friend.
Yeah. Unless you count like Throw Mama from the Train, which I think was 80s, which
It was that movie was or Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Was that still the
uh,
80s?
yeah. But well, no, I think that was early 90s. But I don't know if Estelle Getty would she would probably still end up on the best mom list in that movie. So
Yeah, that's true.
I
That movie is hilarious.
oh fuck, I think we need to watch that because it's been so
Mm.
long. I've forgotten that movie and I was never a big Stallone fan back then, besides like a few of the Rocky movies. And I did watch Rambo, so I should take that back. I am a Stallone fan, but obviously
Hey,
my you know where my heart goes.
I know exactly when we can review that movie in exactly 365 days for our next Mother's Day episode, because it seems like this one, we've got our core four. That's our Mount Rushmore. We really hope that all of you out there who have mothers or are mothers feel a little better about your mother, comparing them to these four, just the worst.
Don't lock your kids in a vault or a cellar or a basement or a spare bedroom. Just enjoy your mimosas, get shit faced, and just pretend like you enjoy the gifts that you get from your younger kids. But on
And
that note, this is Dan the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark the Resident Jedi.
don't forget to like, subscribe, hit us up on all the socials at I Can Do This All Day. And please, if you're having a bad day with your kids, watch the Goonies and say, I could treat you like this, and see what happens.
I'm a mother lover. You're a mother lover. We should